Hi everyone, I want to do kind of an introductory video for my YouTube channel on how my journey with Klonopin has started. Around February of 2019, I had been working for about a year and a half up to that point. I developed like a sinus infection, and I was just trying to ride it out. Well, anyways, that led to me having a ruptured eardrum. And so I went to the doctor for that, and I also had hearing loss with that. It was very devastating, and I guess through going through that, I ended up developing vertigo after the ruptured eardrum developed. So I'd have severe dizzy spells, and they were just very uncomfortable. And I was like reading groups and stuff, trying to find out what was going on. And after I went to the doctor, they said, mentioned eustachian tube dysfunction or possibly Meniere's disease. Just told me I needed to get my allergies under control. Gave me some Claritin, and I took that. But the dizzy spells did not stop. So I also have been suffering most of my life from childhood from an anxiety disorder as well. So I have general anxiety disorder. But I was seeing a psychiatrist, and she ended up putting me on my Klonopin for my anxiety, but I didn't take them at this point. But then as I was reading in these other groups about the vertigo and the eustachian tube dysfunction, one of the things that they said would help me with that would be to take like a benzodiazepine Klonopin. So I had the Klonopins, so I figured, hey, I'll try it. What could it hurt? So I started taking the Klonopin. It was prescribed to me that I could take one per day for my anxiety, but up until this point I had managed my anxiety on my own, so I was more so trying it to get rid of the dizzy spells that would just come on whenever they wanted to. I never knew when I was going to have an attack. They would also, I'd take them at the nighttime. They would also help me sleep. Well, so I was taking them about 2 times a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And then about 4 months passed, and I started noticing that I had severe burning in my feet and in my legs. So I was also taking the Claritin that was prescribed to me, so I really didn't think anything of it. So I called my doctor frantically, very positive that it was the Claritin that was causing this burning in my extremities. Nothing I did would make it go away or make it better. They told me, in fact, no, it's not the Claritin. So what I ended up doing unknowingly, because I did not know that you couldn't cold turkey a benzodiazepine, because there is risk of seizures, and sometimes people even die from just cold turkey in it. There's so many symptoms that you go through. So I unknowingly did a cold turkey. I stopped the Klonopin, stopped the Claritin, and what happened to me then was unimaginable. I started having a whole lot of symptoms. Like I lost 10 pounds in a week. I couldn't eat. I was nauseated, vomiting. One of the first symptoms I noticed, I was sleeping, and I woke up from a sleep. Let's start right here. I stopped the Klonopin on a Sunday, and it took about 3 days for the withdrawals to kick in. On the Wednesday night heading into Thursday, Wednesday heading into Thursday morning, I was sleeping, and it woke me up out of a dead sleep with a panic attack. My whole left side of my body was numb. It was tingling. It felt like it was asleep. I was scared. I thought I was having a stroke. Went to the hospital. And they said, in fact, that I hadn't had a stroke, and they run a bunch of tests, and that wasn't the case. I just needed to go home and I needed to rest. So I tried that. Couldn't sleep. Nope, couldn't sleep. Insomnia was very horrible. I would lay there, try to sleep, try to nap. I couldn't. It was like my mind just kept going like a hamster wheel. Started having intrusive thoughts, suicidal thoughts. That's when I knew something wasn't quite right. I started like writing out my living will, like do not resuscitate order. I started filling out that paperwork. Started trying to prepare my daughter because I was just panicking. Thought I was dying. I would try to go to the stores. My heart would be racing, beating out of my chest. Was having horrible panic attacks. Didn't matter what I did, they just really wouldn't go away. I started feeling like I wasn't myself. I would get extremely agitated. I was restless. All the words that I could use to describe it wouldn't describe the trauma that I went through. That was unexpected. I think the very last symptom that I had went through before I had discovered that you're not supposed to just cold turkey benzo was I got air hunger. Air hunger, it felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. I couldn't breathe. I'd have these attacks. It went on for like the whole day, all the way into the night. I wasn't able to sleep. I would get up out of the bed because I couldn't sleep, and like go try to take a bath, just to wash the feelings away, to maybe help me feel normal. I'd lay in the chair just like wide awake with the TV on. And the symptom of the air hunger is what really helped me to identify the problem, that the problem was the Klonopin. Because as soon as I took I was like, you know what? I told my husband, I said, I cannot put up with this any longer. This is excruciating. Let's see if maybe if I take the Klonopin again, if this will stop. Well, sure enough, I took the Klonopin, and as soon as I took the Klonopin, like I calmed down, I got sleepy again, the air hunger stopped, the panic had like stopped. It had just really calmed me down. So at that point, I had knew that it was, in fact, the Klonopin. So then I started doing research, and I realized I've got to do something. I've got to come off these medicines. And I went to Google or whatever and found these benzo groups. I found articles on where you can't just cold turkey a benzodiazepine for the risk of seizures are great. There's also a risk of heart attack, death. All kinds of stuff can happen to you, and that I was devastated that this is going to be a long process. So at first, going into these groups, I was going to do a water taper. I had thought about that, and then I know that there was a micro taper from watching videos. But the first thing that I did to get myself to where I could get off of them is I was breaking my pills in half and in quarters. You're not supposed to make more than like a 10% reduction. Looking back, I now know that even a 10% reduction is too strong, or can be too strong for some people. It was for me, because I would cut and take the pill and hold there for a while, and then every time I made a cut, it would take about 5 days for the symptoms to kick in, but then I would start having bad symptoms, like I felt like I needed to admit myself to a mental hospital. I felt like I was going crazy. I was having suicidal thoughts. I just couldn't control my mind at all. So I had 0.5 Klonopins. Get 60 of them a month. I can take them up to 2 times a day. Which the psychiatrist ended up changing my script and made a mistake, which works out for me because I don't need to take all the pills because I only take it once per day. But I knew I have plenty of medication to taper off of. So then that relieves that worry, which is a good thing. So the first thing I did is I broke it in half, and then I broke the other half in half. So I was taking a half and a quarter, which was 0.375 of a milligram. I did that for about a month. I suffered through the cuts and the weird feelings and out-of-body experiences and still not really exactly being able to sleep. I can't nap. All my naps are toxic, meaning I try to nap, but I just lay there and can't take a nap. This has really taken over my life. I have a supportive husband and a supportive daughter, so I'm very thankful for that. And I have a few family members who are also trying to understand my journey, and they help me out as well. So I appreciate all the support that I get. If you're going to do this, you need a good support system. So I did that for about a month, and then I dropped down from the 0.375 to the 0.25, which was just a half of the 0.5. Experienced some symptoms through that, but I just wrote it out, decided I was going to fight this. Then finally I decided, I'm really going to have to start slowing this down. I can't keep going fast or I'm not going to be successful. So now I do a daily dry micro taper. So every day I take my pill, order my scale, I shave off 0.001, I weigh my dose, and then I take off 0.001 for my medication, shave it off with a nail file every day. I'm not having to do any holds. I actually find that this is the most easiest method that I have tried so far. I've been at this for a couple of months now. I am actually scheduled to be off. My Independence Day will be coming somewhere around, I say, December and January, depending on the holds, but I'm more so leaning towards December. But a lot of people think, okay, so good, you'll be off, you'll be free. No, not necessarily. You won't exactly be free because then you have a withdrawal period. So after you take your last pill, you will have acute withdrawal, and then you can also have something called protracted withdrawal syndrome, which could last, from months to years. And it's just something you'll have to learn to live with. It's something you'll have to learn to buckle up and be strong and use methods like meditation or soothing sounds, if you're having anxiety. There'll be sleepless nights. You'll feel like you're going crazy. There'll be body aches, pain. There's over 150 symptoms that you can get when trying to withdraw off of benzodiazepine. And what the benzodiazepine does is it works on our GABA receptors to keep us calm, and it shuts down a lot of stuff. And basically, when we come off of it, it kind of controls our central nervous system as well. When we come off of it, all the GABA doesn't have a brake on it anymore, so it just starts flooding with all these symptoms and stuff that you're, going to be having to face. It's not easy. I can't explain the direct, mechanism on how it works, but there's articles out there you can read, It kind of sucks having to be like a chemist or a pharmacist to come off of these drugs that I was placed on by my doctor for anxiety, but it turns out they turn on you. And honestly, the panic attacks that I've had while on Klonopin have been 1,000 times worse than any panic attack I've ever experienced in my life on my own without the medicine. I believe, when you go in a doctor's office, instead of just handing you a script and then just telling you to fill it, the max amount of time you're supposed to be on a benzo is 2 to 4 weeks. 2 to 4 weeks. Well, here I am, about 8 months into it, and I still have a prescription. So the 2 to 4 weeks is past, and you can't just stop them. No matter how much you want to, do not ever cold turkey the benzo that you're on, if you're on one. I don't know after that time if I'm going to, like, make it through. Like, I have my doubts. But, like, I have a daughter, and, like, I promised her that she's 14. I promised her that I'm going to hold on for her and that I won't give up. I have a husband. I love him very much, and he loves me. And I also promised him that I won't give up. I have a fighting spirit. I always have. That's just who I am. I have a big heart. This medicine has numbed down my emotions. It makes it to where I used to be a very emotional person. I had no problems crying. Well, now I have problems crying and expressing my emotions. It's hard to explain what it does to you. It just, like, takes you by your feet and drags you through hell. They say it's actually harder to withdraw from benzodiazepines than it is to withdraw from heroin, if that tells you anything. Many people have lost their lives just trying to fight and make it through. The withdrawals are that strong, and not everybody makes it off of them, but I feel like I can just keep fighting and fight or die trying. That's pretty much my only option. I don't hold on my medication as I'm making a cut, or I haven't so far. Luckily, I haven't had to. I just keep going, and I know that every day that I cut 0.001 off my medication is a day that's behind me. A day that I did it. A day that I can be proud. I'm one step closer to being free from this medicine. This medicine will not control me for the rest of my life. If I can do it, you can do it, but you need to go slow. You don't need to go fast. I feel like, well, I know that a lot of doctors take people off of it really quickly, doing a rapid taper. That's not how you want to do it. You want to be in control of your own taper. Many people have been on this for many, many years, like 20 or more years. That's a long time to be on a medication. And when you need to come off of it, you're going to play hell to come off of it, but it can be done. And I believe that daily micro taper is the way to go. I plan on making a video on showing you how I taper down my medicine. This is not medical advice by any means. This is just my journey of my benzodiazepine Klonopin withdrawal. It takes every amount of strength that I have in my body to not give up. But I don't give up. I have a family that loves me and supports me, and I'm going to pull through this one way or the other, and so will you. You will pull through this too. Just keep being strong. Keep fighting. Keep telling yourself that you can do this. The urge to quit will be the strongest right before you get to where your goal is. So just keep going. I plan to put some videos on how I micro taper my medicine to try to help y'all out. My math is not perfect. I'm not good at math. That's another reason I was scared to do a taper. But with the people that have learned me in the groups, just by taking off 0.001, I ended up grasping the concept, and so far it's working. So I will be posting more videos to try to help you guys. I will probably post videos throughout here as I'm coming off, updates for y'all. I hope it helps, and I wish you the best on your journey. Please do your part in warning other people about the dangers of benzodiazepines. They are dangerous, and they cannot be stopped abruptly. I wish all the best until next time. I'll talk to you later, and thank you for listening to my story and following my journey, and for all the support that you've given me and all the love that you've shown me so far. Bye.